What's up, soil brothers and soil sisters? Y'all, it is Monday. I just spent the last 3 minutes talking to myself, but I was rehearsing. I I clicked the button to show our little commercial, our intro at the beginning, but I didn't hit go live, and I'm like, wait a minute, something doesn't look right, and it was saying live, start live. So I had to hit live. Okay, so we're gonna do this again. Good morning, Janet Cruising from cool Georgia, USA Zone 8A. Because it is, my hands are freezing. So I'm drinking hot chocolate with cayenne tincture because I'm cold. I am SC Pam. What's up, Soil Sister? I've been missing you in the chat. Good to see you. As y'all can hear, Nala is in the background, snorting like a little pig and chewing on her bone, but she is doing her thing. Yes, it's a mess garden. Good morning, Soil Sister. Sweet and savory words, divine order. Good morning, Soil family. So, I'm going to start by saying, y'all hit that thumbs up for me. Hit that thumbs up. Prepper 101, because we going to talk this morning. And Audrey, good morning. Audrey's living life soon. I cannot wait to see you. I'm so excited to see everybody soon. First, I'm gonna talk about Nala. I've been busy. The weather has been gorgeous, and I had plant. Wow, that's great. That's great. It's cold here. It got down to maybe 30-ish degrees, 32 or something, 33. It's cold. It's cold. Growing with Hudson, what's up? Happy MLK Day. So MLK is huge in Savannah. They have shut down most of downtown Savannah for the parade, which will probably last until noon, 1, 2 o'clock, something like that. Anyhow, Rochelle, good morning, Soil Sister. Homestead Aquarius, Team Happy. Good morning, fam. But it's a very busy day. Lots of cookouts and people getting together and having fun. But that parade is so long. They have closed down so many roads downtown. The best thing is to stay home. So I chose today. How did our tropical plants? What's up, Soil Sister? They are not happy. The first night when it got down to 18, 19 degrees, the heaters kept cutting off because it was so cold. The heaters kept cutting off. So we stayed up all night cutting the heaters back on, trying to make sure we kept it warm. But they took a hard hit. So all we can do is hope and pray. I think they may bounce back. Some of the plants have started growing back already. But we're just watching them. Even citrus that's pretty much untouchable look pretty sad out there. But I have hope for our plants, and I think they'll bounce back for the most part. But the greenhouse, one side of it is starting to things are growing. I told my husband I went out there and I saw all that new growth on the moringa, and it got down to 18 degrees. But I saw so much new growth the other day on the moringa. I picked off some of the leaves and ate them. And then I was like, let me let this plant bounce back and stop picking. David Hunt, Spring Meadow Farm. Good morning, Soil family. So, y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. Share this out. I'm praying these conversations can help somebody. So last week I talked a little bit about a traditional lifestyle. We live a traditional lifestyle and what it means to us. Good morning, Lady Dagger. They are resilient. They are. Thank you, Spring Meadow. And I didn't talk about a traditional lifestyle to try to encourage anybody to do anything, because you have to do what make you happy and your household happy. I was just opening the door for people that divine order that may not talk about traditional lifestyle or their lifestyle because they worry about what other people say. So I decided, along with talking about growing my apothecary, I think it's important to talk about health, life itself, all the things we go through. We are homesteaders, gardeners, But we do live a life that we run into so many things, such as people who down talk traditional living or how you decide to live your life. I always say don't let nobody steal your joy. Long as you are happy and your household is happy, that's all that matters. My Renaissance grandma. But I named this live. You tried to end our lives. Now it's time to talk about it. Everybody, everybody go through stressful situations. And I think some of these conversations, I call them the uncomfortable conversations, are important to have. Because even though they are uncomfortable, other people need to know that. Most people know, but sometimes it's good to hear that we here for you. People have your back, and you're not alone in these situations. Stress, nobody is alone in stress, but stress will end your life, and it will constantly try to end your life over and over again. It come in so many different phases. We deal with it different. um Jesus is Lord. Good morning, Soil Family. We stress look different for everybody. So just because you look at somebody and you say, oh, they look great and life is great, you don't know what's going on inside. So you kind of looking at the cup half full because you only seeing the outside, and people portray this happiness and this glorious life or whatever, just because they don't want people to see. Good morning, Team Happy. The stress. But the stress is there. And it's important to acknowledge that, you know, stress is there and how you can deal with it. Not say, I'm famous for this. I'm famous for this. I'll say, oh, I ain't stressing it. Oh, I ain't worried. But subconsciously, we do stress about a lot of things, especially women. Well, I'm not even going to say especially women because the men do too. My husband, I feel like my husband, he got big shoes to fill. He wear big shoes, but in life he got huge shoes to fill. He got people that he want to and he have to think about safety. You know, he is the provider for our household, so he got a lot of people. Miss QT is in the building. Good morning. He got a lot of people that he have to look after. And how would he feel if he wasn't doing his job? Or how, some things you just can't control. But to think about the stress that go on in his mind because he want to make sure his home and his family is always protected and taken care of, and he may say that I don't stress about that because I just do what I gotta do. Yeah, but then, you know, there gotta be some type of stress there because we are all somewhat responsible for each other. Like I stress if I can't figure out what to cook. And it may sound simple. Because I always aim to please my husband when it comes to cooking a meal or what we gonna eat. But I stress about like, what am I gonna cook tonight? Oh my God. You gotta be tired of eating the same thing. But my husband, long as he got a meal, he doesn't complain at all. But I still stress about things. So some of the things we stress about so much stuff. I mean, as women, we stress about the kids. We stress about carrying our kids and making sure that we are providing everything with this human growing inside of us. We stress about um, we stress about our health without kids. Not carrying a child, growing older, our weight. A conversation we had with a friend, stressful events at work, everything at that garden will stress you out. What's going on in my garden. Nala said, excuse me. Um, the bugs are eating my food. Everything is stress. But what do we do to de-stress? What do we do? Good morning, Dorsha. What do we do to as a stress relief? You know, do we just say, I'm not stressed and keep it moving? Yeah, We do that all the time. But over time, that will build up and pressure bust pipes. So that's what we want to try to stay away from. Being stressed out to the point where you make yourself sick. You're running your blood pressure up. Your cholesterol is going crazy. You're creating all these other issues because we stress. So what do? Call Sherry. I'll talk to you. I will. I will. Um, Go to the beach, go to the garden, because that's our happy place. You know, you find your happy place. And what may be somebody else's happy place may not be your happy place. But you got to do what make you happy. Things that make me happy. I love going to the beach. I do. Just being at the beach. Me and my husband can be at the beach and not even talk to each other. And I'm happy. What's up, Snails? Learning balance is the key, but it can take time. It does take time. And you constantly learn as you grow older. So, you know, I've learned that I love the beach. Before I met my husband, I loved the beach. Now, I love gardening. I love these animals. I can go out there and de-stress, you know, watching the chickens or just watching the dogs, interact with each other, and sitting around talking to my husband will help de-stress. Lighting candles. Nature is definitely a huge key. A huge key. Out fresh air, let me tell you, if you cooped up in the house, go sit on the porch. Go take a walk. Listen to some music. And the type of music to me does make a difference, you know. Some of this music, don't listen to it. When you're stressed out, don't listen to it because it's gonna drive you off it's gonna drive you. Listen to something calming, some R&B. I like oldies myself. You know, I love oldies. I do listen to gospel, a lot of R&B. I listen to old school rap, like old school rap. Not it's like, I guess I can say Lil Kim back then versus Lil Kim now. I can't tell you nothing about Lil Kim music at all now. I know she has severely messed herself up, which I don't like, but it's not for me. You know, that's on her. I love just listening to some good music at night. At a certain time, I like to jazz. Jazz is great. I love to at a certain time of the evening, I try to shut the house down. I'll go in the bathroom, light a candle, and sit in the tub and just soak. I might thumb through YouTube or, you know, try to catch up on some videos sometime, but most of the time I try to I look at a lot of food videos and try to get ideas of what to cook. And I just, you know, turn the lights off. I turn the lights off while I'm in the tub. Nothing but that candle burning. And I love it. Miss QT, we appreciate you. It's so many ways to distress, and you know, I hate to see people stressed out. And the thing about, I know I get in this mode where I'm always trying to fix something or trying to find a way to help somebody. So, you know, I think I wanted to start talking about some of the uncomfortable things we go through, such as stress, just so people, Prince and Aerosmith, just so people can know that, you know, like I said, sometimes you need to hear it, that you are not alone. YouTube, content creating, being an influencer can be stressful because you get caught up in the numbers, you get caught up in this, and you get caught up in that. I say don't do it. You know, a lot of things I look at, if it's for you, it's for you. Whatever God put on this earth, that your name, your blueprint is already written. He already know what's going on with you, what's going to happen with you. If it's for you, it's going to almost just fall in your lap. Don't stress it. You know, of course, content creating and in YouTube, these platforms are work. They are work. But if it's not fun, you can make it really, really stressful if you make it like a job. And I remember what Dorsha said, she wasn't, you know, she had taken a sabbatical or break from YouTube or content creating. And I told her, I said, you should go back, but do what's fun to you. You know, don't make it a job. Do it when you have time and make sure you have fun doing it. Yeah, the watch hours, all that stuff is stressful. But let me tell you, it will come when you least expect it. Sunday Backyard Farmer, what's up, Soil Brother? Thank you, Resilient Dad. Healthy decompression habits is key. Love this topic and community. Yes, you have to find ways to decompress. I mean, get away, and people should understand when you walk off or you say, let me go take a walk, or let me go take a bath, or let me ride to the beach, or that of course that's our thing. We can ride to the beach in 10 minutes or down to the river in 5 or 6 minutes, but find something you can decompress. Sitting outside. I remember that YouTube wasn't fun anymore. It was work. And yeah, if you don't make it fun, it will become stressful. And this thing will stress you out so bad because you want to hit that 1,000. You want to hit that 4,000 watch hours. And YouTube will constantly play these number games with you. And you'll go to sleep and you'll be 5 away from 1,000. And you'll wake up and you might be 15 away from 1,000. We lost about 900 subscribers before we were monetized. We got monetized within 4 months of being on YouTube. In that time, we lost 900 subscribers. It was driving my husband crazy because he could not understand. And I was just, in my mind, I was like, well, it's a YouTube game and it's okay. Because I'm looking at the fact that we are doing great compared to the time that we've been on here. So let's not stress it. So he would be like, oh, but we losing all these subscribers. Yeah, we losing a lot. But I wouldn't let it stress me. I'm like, I can't let this stress me. So, I know we all go through stress. The holidays are stressful. Birthdays are stressful. Everything can be stressful. But how do we deal with it? How do we deal with it? Let's bring on a friend and talk about how we deal with stress.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you stressed this morning?
Well, I'm sitting in Adrian Wood's house at the Tales of an Educated Debutante. I was stressed first thing because she woke me up and said, "Get your butt in town." And
I know. When you text me, you were stressed.
I was stressed. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I've got an appointment at 10:15, but I'm coming. I'm coming. So,
Yeah. And
uh,
when people text me or call me and say things and they stressed out, I say, don't, no problem. Don't
you
worry about
were
it.
so fabulous. You said, take your time, no
Yeah.
hurry, no rush. I'm going to be here. And just those words are so calming. And we can do that for each other. We can help
Yes.
each other be calm.
Yeah. Because sometimes we can say, Nala. Sometimes when somebody call, like you said, oh my God, I'm going live. And that's instead of me saying, oh, it's okay. Take your time. I'll be there. Some people will say, oh my God, now what am I supposed to do? You
Yes. And
know,
then it's like,
yeah, yeah. So like even with Nala, Bobby think I'm completely crazy because I'm doing things so early and I'm trying to stay on top of this. He like, she not having these puppies tomorrow. But to me, it's less stressful to be prepared
right.
ahead
That's
of time.
right. Well, that's kind of our lifestyle, is so that when things happen or something goes on, we go, "Oh, that's okay, because I have my things over here. I have my
Mhm.
food and my heat and my water, or a way to stay cool. Those
Yeah,
kinds of things."
yeah,
And um, we don't do it just because we're waiting for the apocalypse. What we do is so that we can be calm, so that we can have peace of mind in
yeah,
our daily lives.
yeah. So, I know you are doing a Be Ready series
Yeah.
to help people prepare for anything, life, things that life throw at us.
That's right.
And I think that is so smart because a lot of things people don't think. I heard you and Adrian talking about um people not knowing what to do with the water once you get it out of the creek.
Right. I mean, which is I have to say I was a little surprised. But there are people out there that have always had an apartment
Hmm.
or a landlord of some sort.
Hmm.
And if their potties have broken, they don't go and fix it, kind of thing. And so tonight I'll be showing when your water is cut off and you can get a bucket of water out of a ditch or a creek or whatever, where to put the water so that you can flush your potty.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I always, when you're young, you don't think about things that your parents tell you, and then you get older and you need these things, and it's like, wow. My
yeah,
mom would always, and to this day, my mom will call if she hear there's a hurricane coming or a tropical storm. She
that's
say,
right.
fill your tubs and fill your sink up tonight before you go to bed, or
That's
before
right.
that storm get there. And those things help cut out stress.
Yeah. Yeah. You just plan, you
Yeah.
go, okay, well, if this happens, I've already got everything taken care of.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Not
Uh,
saying you won't stress totally because it's still things, you just stress because the wind is blowing outside my window. Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's not much I can do about trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Same
know,
here. Same here.
that's a different story. You can do the
Yeah.
best you can with trees, but
Yeah. But it's there. The thought is there. So don't um don't downplay being stressed, and don't feel like you're alone in stressful moments, because you have tons of people that actually you can email. Some of
yes,
us, you can just drop a comment in a video, and it's ways to be able to reach out to people and get help. There are ways to get professional help.
that's right. And sometimes you need it. And
Sometimes you need it.
honestly, I mean, if you're breathing, you're going to have some stress.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, let's just get that right. But there are ways of going about it. Any one of us at any time during the day can find something to be stressed over, or we
Yeah.
can find something that is wrong in our lives that would
Hmm.
make us sad or angry. And if we fixate and concentrate on those things, then, it can affect your way of life.
Yes. Yes.
At the same
So
time, yeah, when you're thinking in a positive direction
yeah.
and go, okay, yeah, well, I just lost my left arm, but I'm still alive, I'm
I
alive to
mean,
live another day.
I think of some of the things I have been through, and I'm like, I can't believe how calm I was, or to know that other people would freak out. Something. I mean, we all know that with life comes death,
Yes,
and we do all we can to be the best we can on this life, which is stressful. But you live. You live and you learn. You things happen, and you learn from those mistakes.
that's right.
So to be able to watch somebody like Sandy, who I'll talk about tomorrow, because
I'm so
tomorrow,
excited to find out and to see her life was
yes,
so interesting.
she would have been 110 tomorrow, and it is the second year anniversary to her passing. But when um I came in this room and realized that she was transitioning over,
Right,
at first I started freaking out,
right,
and then I said, okay. I called Louisa, of course, and she said, okay. She talked to me for a few minutes, and I told her, I said, I'll let her stay in bed. She said, well, if you need me, I'm here. And I said, I need you.
right,
Of course I had Bobby, but my mind was freaking out, and I was saying, come on, Sherry, you got this. The
right.
best thing to do was to be calm and um enjoy the transition with her.
Yes.
Be thankful that she was so peaceful. And that alone helped not stress her out
Right.
in her time of transitioning over, which I think people deserve. Nobody deserves to be in a stressful situation. We all are sometimes pulled into other people's stressful situations or whatever. But we have to think about other people too and what our stress may be doing to them.
Right. Right. Yes. Well, I mean, it's just like I happen to be in Adrian's home right now from Tales of an Educated Debutante. She has a service dog that is Honor. Here's Adrian. She wants to come say hi.
Hi,
Hey, Adrian.
Wyatt. Nice things about you.
Oh, I follow you, so I hear you all the time, and I love it.
Good. I hope it's good. I try to behave. Anne's still good influence on me.
She's here.
Yeah, keep being you. That's all I can say. Anne is who she is, and she is the calm to our storm.
Yes, she is.
Oh, and this is Honor, her service dog.
Oh,
Amos's service dog,
Yeah.
who also is a lunatic.
Yeah, yeah, he has special needs, but what I was getting to was Adrian's and Amos's service dog
mhm.
Honor knows she can intuitively feel when Adrian is stressed, and so she will come and
Get in my
push,
lap.
yeah, and give
Oh,
her pressure to be able to try to calm her.
good.
But you have the same kind of relationship with your dogs as well.
Ye-
You know, Thor and Nala, thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Thor and Nala can sense how you feel.
Yeah, they can. They can, and all if you married, you will be stressed. You know,
Absolutely.
I absolutely love and adore my husband, and I will move mountains to play my part in our marriage to make sure that we are happy. I always say we are responsible for our own happiness, but then I'm responsible for our happiness as a couple.
Right.
So, with marriage, I mean, I've been with my husband 7 years. I know Andell has been with her husband the same amount of time I have been on this earth.
Yeah,
But we
44. We're going
we
on 45
yep,
years.
going on
I was a
45.
baby, 19.
But we know that, with relationships and marriage comes stress. But you have to
Yes.
learn how to deal with it and deal with each other because you bring in two whole different personalities together.
And
And
mindsets. And honestly, over the years, I mean, I was 19. I'm not the same person that I was at 19. I'm
yeah,
just not. I
yeah,
mean, I have evolved and grown and things like that. Um, and neither is Worth. He is not the same person
yeah,
that he was at 23 when we got married.
yeah,
And so I just want to share with people, you and I talked about this just a little bit last night. Just because the years are there does not mean, although I adore this man, it doesn't mean that every second of the 44 years we have been ooey gooey and just butterflies every time we see each other. No,
yeah,
siree, Bob.
yeah,
I mean, there have been times, sometimes weeks, that we can't stand the sight of each other.
yeah.
It just, you live with another human being long enough, they're going to get on your last nerve.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And
But
then it make you say, and I always say it's what you say to each other. If you got something hurtful to say, go in the bathroom, close the door, or outside and say it
right,
to yourself. Don't say
yeah,
it to them because words hurt. But you learn how to deal with these
right,
stressful moments. So you get a moment where it's like, what was I thinking when I married this person?
right.
But
Well,
you get through it.
there is an unspoken rule that Worth and I have never broken. We learned how to argue,
Yes.
and I'm not good at it, but because I'm just not a confrontational person, I just might go in the other room and pout and probably mumble a lot. And clean and throw things, not at him, but I
Yeah.
mean, like, I'll put my laundry away very angrily, which makes him laugh. But
Yeah. Yeah.
we learned how to fight. And there are people that when they do argue, they go for the jugular. They're going to hurt you to the core.
Yeah.
And we don't do that. And I realized that even though I'm not crazy about this person at that moment,
That's
I
right.
know that it's temporary, that it's going to be coming back around.
Yeah.
And I realized that when I married this person, the core, the inside of him, his morals, his character, his mindset of helping others, of being a kind hearted human are important.
Yeah.
And I would like him even if I wasn't married to him, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. Like I remember when I first met Bobby, and he would come. He lived in Brunswick. He was a police officer in Brunswick. He would come to Savannah on the weekends, and he'd bring this suitcase. And I swear to you, it looked like he would open that suitcase, and me with OCD, everything in my house, my clothes were color coded a certain way in the closet. Everything, my
Yes.
refrigerator was organized. The
Oh my
juice was
gosh.
here, the eggs were here, but it looked like he would open that suitcase and just fling clothes looking for something. And I'm like, this guy is messy. What in the world?
Yes.
How can he find anything? How can he keep up with anything? Well,
Right.
to this day, we always find things together. But I said, okay, am I going to be basically a bitch and always complain and fuss and say, "Oh, you need to do this." Oh, or am I going to learn how to live with this man so we can, because I love him to death, no matter how messy he is, and we learn how to cohabitate with each other. Like my straightening up things and moving things may make him feel like she getting on my nerves. Why is she picking up stuff behind me? So I had to learn to just leave it alone, let him have his space so that he can, do what he need to do, but find balance so that I won't go crazy.
Right.
So, I'm not the type that, and I know some people will just fuss because this is how I like it. Well, I'll call, rather than fuss at him, just walk away from it and say, okay. Well, and vice versa, rather than fuss at her, because my husband fuss at me sometimes because I talk too much. I used to, when we would get on live, basically he was just here because I'm constantly talking, and I'm like, you gotta learn to be quiet. Even
Well,
in
maybe not quiet, maybe just listen,
better.
more in
Yeah,
tune in the listening, so
yeah,
that when we talk we contribute something
yeah.
rather than just
And I had to learn to let him talk some, because it was hard for me to sit back and not talk. And I'm like, golly,
well,
I
that's
need
what we
to.
do.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just, even cutting him off. My husband hate for me to cut him off. He'll be saying something and I'll say something. And I'm like, I gotta stop doing that because it is disrespectful. But I'm like,
Well,
I'm his
it's not,
husband.
yeah, it's not on purpose though.
Yeah,
It's
I
not.
just love to talk. But it doesn't make him feel like, you know, I need to leave her because she keep cutting me off or because she disrespectful. You have to learn who you with and how they are. And some things, like Andale said, at 19, they are not the
Yeah,
same
no,
as they were in their, even in your 30s, 40s. Let me tell you, in your 40s,
you
I'm not
change.
who I was in my 30s.
Yeah, there's a lot that changes. You
Yeah,
change while your children are little. You change when your children are grown. You change when you start having grandbabies. It changes
yeah,
the person that you are and your interest, and it should.
yeah,
Because being stagnant if I was the same person that I was at 19,
yeah,
I would have had no growth. I mean, I would have probably been in an institution somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no, but I mean, when we talk about stress, I had a friend that had called me that said, if I have to unfold one of his nasty socks to put in the washing machine again, I'm moving to a hotel. I said, girl, let's think about this. Let's talk about it a minute. She said, no, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. He puts these nasty socks inside out, all scrunched up, and I've got to stick my hand in there. I said, now, let's get the priorities straight. Let's think about this just a minute. Push come to shove, throw those things in the trash, go buy some new socks if you have to. But
Yeah.
that's not a reason to end a marriage. So
Yeah. The thing with growth and growing together is so many variables that go along with that, and we'll talk about that in another
Right.
live. Different
Yeah.
things like I see them saying ministration, in a different word, but things like having cycles as women, the things that women go through. I think these are important conversations because as women, we go through things and we don't see things the same way we saw it when we were younger because we are going through these mental
that's
issues.
right.
And we all, as women, go through them. I shared with you that I had a hysterectomy, which looked different for everybody.
Right.
People have them for different reasons or whatever, but they throw you in these moods that you can't figure out and you really can't control, but you have to find some type of ground or something because it's stressful to know
It
that.
is stressful. And my friend that I'm sitting here beside, Adrian, has done several series on perimenopause and menopause and things like that. Maybe sometime all of us could get together and discuss because she opened my eyes. Come on over here. She opened my eyes in that there is a fact that that's mine, but you can have some if you want. Um, there is help. There's help out there, which in my day, when I went through it, there was none.
Right. Yeah, and I think I lost a good friend who died by suicide, and she was 51, and we know that the average age of suicide in women is 51. That's also the average age of menopause. And the reason it's called a hysterectomy is from hysteria. So we've gotten good at acknowledging postpartum depression and what that looks like. But menopause is the exact same thing that's happening as postpartum depression.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, buck up, take a walk, you're fine. And we can help people. And
and it's not that
it's
way.
just not talked about. And I don't
Yeah.
know why it's such a, anyway.
A taboo subject, but it's
So we have to start talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Well, it's like just as I was having children, just before that, you kind of sort of hid if you were pregnant. You didn't
Yeah.
leave the house, and now people
Why
are
was
wearing
that?
bikinis because it was a sign that you had had sex.
Oh, yeah.
And so you hid because, oh my gosh, she's done something. She's done the dirty.
Yeah,
And
especially
so
if not married.
Right. And so she's
Yeah.
pregnant. And well, if you weren't married, you definitely had to be down.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
actors, I guess, couldn't be on television. Or
No.
you couldn't be out of the house if you were that pregnant.
Right.
Yeah. And you may move to another state. Your parents might move you down somewhere where your
Yeah.
auntie is.
An
so
auntie
nobody
and an
would know.
uncle somewhere out of state until that baby's
And don't
born.
you think everybody knew that? Oh, they've just gone to visit somebody. They had a baby.
Right.
Mhm.
That's right. And now
Exactly.
the attitude has changed. People are walking around with bikinis on and they're 9 months pregnant. And it's beautiful.
Woo.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. But I think that we need to talk about the other end of it more so as well, the menopause side, to be able to talk about these hard subjects and these things that are tough.
And
Yeah.
maybe just the pushing through, talking about, in general, hard things in general, right? Like, to me, I have a little boy with special needs. And so I think I've discovered, like, if I go ahead and acknowledge these fears, they don't get a hold of me.
Right.
and like his future is a really big, heavy weight on me.
Yes.
But the more I talk about it and acknowledge it, it doesn't own me.
Right.
Yeah.
And menopause, or I mean, I talk to my sons about periods. And I mean, and have since they were tiny. I remember one of my sons said, I said, well, girls bleed. And my son, who was 10 at the time, said, do boys bleed too? And I thought for a minute about saying yes. I was like,
They
no.
do in different ways.
Yeah. I said, girls have, you have eggs. And then my son said, my daughter said, I'm not a chicken,
But I think even with menopause and the events that women go through as we grow older are important conversations, because it can also help the man better understand
Yes.
what we go through as women, to be able to help us not be divorced at the age of 60 and 70 after we've been together for 40 years because I don't know how to deal with her and she just going crazy.
Right.
So the good thing, for all the women to know that there is help out here professionally, but then you have friends that know and that you can talk to. I always say, and I have learned the hard way, that you have to be careful who you talk to, but you definitely need to have somebody that you can have a conversation with sometime, because
A confidant. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able. I always had my mama, but it is nice to be able to have someone as a friend that you can confide in, that is not going to share it, but that is older as I am. I've already been through a lot of things. I had a hysterectomy as well. I can share some of how my body has changed and things like that, and some frustrating parts to it as well.
Yeah, because even we get frustrated about simple things. I was telling you, one of my family members had a hysterectomy the same time I did. Well, she was in pain for months, and I'm out of surgery, still in the hospital. Like, I don't want any pain medicine. I basically just want to eat and go home, but I know I got to spend the night. And she was in pain for months after hers, which most people will say, well, why is she hurting so bad? And what is she doing? Well, we are not the same.
Right.
And rather than stress her out or make her feel like she doing something wrong because of how she coping with dealing with this surgery, we got to be a little more understanding, because we can stress each other out just by saying, Andel, we were supposed to go live today. What are you doing?
That's right.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Be freaking out.
Right.
Yep, that's right. And it is respecting each other's journey.
Yes.
Really.
It's a beautiful thing.
Because your friend had a tough time going through, and the fact that you did not does not negate that she had a tough time.
Yes.
So,
anyway. Life is supposed to be beautiful. And I always say that Sandy taught me, without even saying, how beautiful life can be. Even at 108, she taught me that life can be beautiful. So I think it's important.
Wait, we need to get back to 108.
Yes.
Oh,
Adrian.
yes.
Is this your grandmother?
No, this is my friend. She passed away. So I'm going to show you a picture of her.
Oh.
She passed away on her 108th birthday 2 years ago. So tomorrow she would have been 110.
Wow.
When COVID came out, Cherie was helping look after her in like a nursing home. And when COVID came, she took her, supposed to be for 2 weeks, because it was going to be that 2-week shutdown. Everything was going to be all right. And so she brought her in her home. And she ended up staying how long?
Almost a year. She passed away just shy of a year. Of
but
being
she had
here.
already been her major caregiver even before.
Yeah. We just decided, she loved it here. So this was like her little Asaba. She actually owned the island, and rather than take her back to the nursing home, which she didn't seem happy at, we just kept her here, and she lived the rest of her life here.
Right. Oh, what a
Cherie,
gift.
Yeah, and
So-
Cherie
To
is
both
a
of you.
nurse.
Sure.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
She just adored her and loved her,
yeah.
and vice versa. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. She taught me so much, and that's why, I got into. She used to call me Queenie, and I'll tell a story again tomorrow because I'll do a live about all about Sandy and remembering her life. She would call me Queenie, who was a black woman who was on the island with her, and Queenie, I guess, was like best friend. And I'm like, I don't look like Queenie. I know I'm black, but I don't look like Queenie.
Happen to
But
be a
she
black
keeps
woman.
calling me Queenie. I was always Queenie, nobody else. They said, well, that's the highest compliment you'll get from Sandy. I said, okay, I'll take that. But now that I have done this deep dive into apothecary or growing my own herbs and medicine, that is what Queenie did. And I said, well, maybe Sandy saw that in me. And that was her way of telling me without telling me.
Oh, wow.
Because she had a black woman that looked after her as a child, and
Right.
so the feelings of
Right.
being able to combine with looking at Cherie, that it is something
Felt
that
like Queenie.
it is a huge compliment. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we just have to. I
And
thought this would be
yeah.
I thought this would be a great conversation because we all stress every day, and I
Yes,
don't like to see people stressed out. Even though we all go through our own stress and we know how to hide it and keep it to ourselves, find ways to de-stress. You definitely have to. Self-love is very important. Find something for you
right.
every day. Take time, even if it's just 10 minutes, 5 minutes, take time to yourself so you can de-stress and kind of put everything, all the weight of the world on the back burner. As a housewife, I stress over the little things because I have so much to do, cooking, cleaning, making sure that laundry is done, the animals are fed. Then I want to go outside and do this and do that. But, I'm not Wonder Woman. I try to play
That's
her, but
right.
I'm not her. But at the end of the day, I try to de-stress, and listen to something positive. Definitely keep positive things in your life, people in your
Yes.
life. Don't listen to so much of the negative because it'll get in your head and it's just gonna
Right. Well, I mean,
it,
we do have to get our minds in the right direction in order
yeah,
to be able to. Goodness, if I thought about all the bad things all the time, I would never get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And,
True.
you just have to one foot in front of the other and say, okay, I do try very hard to live in the idea of not what could have been, but
yeah.
what is
What is?
right this minute.
Yeah,
And right
yeah,
this minute, I'm okay. Everybody's alive. It's okay right this second. And I'll deal with the next second when it comes.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we
yes,
don't plan or help or, prepare, but so overwhelmed and my brain is just so full and I can't just go back to bed and pull up the covers because I do that too when I get overwhelmed.
yeah,
Um, I try to put my mindset and my perspective in a way of, okay, okay, I this is bad, but right this second, I'm alive. Everybody I love is alive. It's okay. We can. This is not forever. This is temporary,
yeah,
and this will end.
yeah.
And
I
I take
always say that it can
Zoloft.
be worse.
Yes.
I mean, I need Zoloft. Like my
Yeah,
my friend said, I'm taking medicine for postpartum depression, and I said, well, I've never felt depressed. She said, well, I've never felt depressed either. This is a true story. You were talking about your husband earlier. She said, I call it "Don't kill my husband" medicine, and I said, well, I need that.
Right.
I need this. Like I wasn't depressed with this baby, but I thought I was going to hurt him.
Yeah.
And I've been on the medicine now for how 15 years. And I tell you, and I mean, obviously I choose joy and you're doing all those things, but
Right.
it really makes a huge difference with that hormone in my brain to make me not feel like I'm drowning.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
And it's not depression. It's annoyance.
Right.
yeah,
It's
You know?
living on the knife's edge.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
So
good that you acknowledge that because a lot of people will constantly fight it and say, no, 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 I don't need medicine and I don't need this. Well, sometimes we do need help.
yeah.
you know.
Well, and a friend of mine, she said, well, my husband really is a problem. I mean, he's doing this stuff. And I said, I agree with you. And my husband is a problem too. But do I want to get divorced or not? I don't want to.
Right.
So I want to choose and be with where I am now. I can't change somebody that doesn't pick up a sock. You know,
Right.
I mean, what am I going to do about that? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. To go with, is this worth a divorce? Yeah.
Exactly.
that just seems like a big
Yeah.
pain in the ass.
It does. It's really too much trouble.
Yep.
And I don't want the children all the time either.
Yes.
Yep. My
It's a
cousin
lot of
did-
herbs for stress. Yes, there's
Yeah.
a lot of herbs for stress, you know. And like I said, even sometimes it just take a walk. When you get in a heated conversation or a stressful moment, sometimes you can take a walk just to have a woosah and
I need to do that.
decompress.
I need to do
Yeah,
that.
we
Or
do.
Do you exercise? It is
I
so
don't.
important. And I don't know why I'm so rebellious against
It
it.
is. It's very important to be able to do
Yeah.
that, to walk. I'm not good. I'm not good about that.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
usually like wash the dishes or something. I mean, it's at angrily wash dishes or,
Yeah,
scrub
Yeah.
the sink and
Well,
get
and
mad.
exercise really, it came out recently, it really greatly lowers your risk against Alzheimer's.
Oh, I need that so badly.
Right? And I mean, that's serious business. Like, you need to be out walking and
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And the thing is, I think, well, probably for me, I say I do so much when I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm feeding the dogs, feeding the chickens, the rabbits, the quail, cleaning, cooking. I have already cooked
right,
dessert, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning.
right.
But I feel like I do so much. Why do I need to go walk extra?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I'm exercising all day, but it is important. And Bobby will tell me, that is his decompression, going to the gym, which is
Mhm.
very important for us all. But I say,
Right.
I do so much. Why do I need to do extra? And it's just because we are either set in our own ways or we just won't make time for it. It doesn't take a lot of time, 10 minutes, walk up the street and come back.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
That's
That's
right.
it.
I have to tell you a funny story about walking in our area, especially in the fall and the spring. We have yellow flies, which bite the tar out of you.
Mm.
And at that time, I was trying to do some walking in our area, and we do live close to the water, so the yellow flies were bad. And I was walking like crazy, and all of a sudden, a swarm of yellow flies came after me, and I'm doing this number the whole time. And I walked past a woman as I'm trying to run to get home because the yellow flies are eating me. And she said, "Go, girl, go! You're doing great. That's wonderful exercise."
That was good exercise.
I look
Moving
like I
all
totally
those
lost
plots.
my mind, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we just have to find ways and be dedicated. Just as we are, once we get stressed, to open that refrigerator or find some potato chips or ice cream.
Yeah,
That same
stress
dedication we have, we need to give that dedication to take a walk. I
Right.
hurt sometimes and I'm like, my back hurt. I don't feel like walking. But that's just an excuse. Nobody said I had to go out there and try to keep this certain pace or run. I just need to walk.
Right.
Right.
So-
Yeah. No running.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's so many ways, and I appreciate y'all. And Adrian, I definitely appreciate you. We
Isn't
have
that
to
great?
talk more about menopause, because menopause not only affect women, but it affect men, and it
It does.
play a lot on our mental health.
Right. 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 Yeah. Just better to acknowledge it.
To acknowledge
Yes.
it, talk about it. And Adrian is wonderful at bringing up hard subjects and speaking calmly and rationally and saying, "This
Oh,
is
yeah.
life. This happens. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it."
Yeah,
So-
and we should talk about it. And I like, like last week when I had the traditional housewife conversation, most people don't want to hear that you are traditional housewife, because in their mind, that is you being controlled or whatever. Well, don't
What
be
is
afraid
traditional? You mean you do the cooking and the cleaning and the
Yeah.
organizing? Oh,
Yeah,
hell, I'm
basically.
the same person.
Yeah. But
Yep, you are that person.
She
But I don't cook
serves
a
his
lot.
plate. and
Oh,
you know.
well, I do.
stuff.
I fix Thomas's suit
Oh, that's awesome.
and throw it to him
Yeah.
on the couch.
Yeah, and Dale thought that was weird because, well, when she came, she was a guest,
Yeah, I
and
came to her house and
Oh.
spent the night.
and
were
I
you
felt
stuck-
like,
I was, because she fixed my plate too.
oh,
And it was such an
that's
honor.
just nice manners.
It was very kind. And I was just like, oh, well, you don't have to do that, but thank you. And she
Now,
did a great job.
does she put her husband's slippers on?
No,
Okay,
that
good.
I
That
know
might be
of.
too much.
nah,
No, but
no,
she
but
was
I
up
do. I
washed and
serve
cleaned
him.
and ready for him, I'm sure. But
I fix his plate, and yeah, I'm the house manager. I'll cook, clean, wash clothes. I do serve my husband when it's time to eat. He sit down. I fix our plates, and when he finish, But that's just that's what I do. That's what work in our house, and he allowed me to do that. But that doesn't mean other people should feel. Oh, guys should feel like, hey, she should be fixing my whatever worked for y'all. This
That's
is what worked for us.
And I think that's really interesting you say that. Ann and I were talking about that earlier. There's a real feeling of, so we took our littlest, the iPad away. He's 9, has autism, and it's been great with his communication.
Mhm.
Well, as soon as, and I'm the same way. If somebody done like, well, I get up and exercise at 5 a.m., I immediately get defensive, right? Like,
Yeah.
it makes
Right.
people nervous because they're
does.
thinking, crap, I need to be doing that too.
terrible person.
We can just acknowledge, like, that's really interesting. I hadn't thought to do that. Or
Yeah.
maybe that'll work for me, or maybe it won't. I don't
Way to
know.
go. Good for you.
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the afternoon's better for me, but good for you at 5 a.m.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband I've always been kind of the one that's in charge of everything. In fact, he said recently, well,
Good job, Barb.
he did something. Oh, we had gotten a thing of like solicitation for money. And I said, I sent some money. He said, well, I sent money. I said, well, what'd you send money for? You've never done anything. I mean, now you're messing me up. We've sent too much money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't get involved now. Like, what if he started making dental appointments? I mean, who knows when then people be going to the doctor? I mean, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
She makes that. Yeah. Don't be changing on me now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. See, Hudson said it. Right? Because I don't. I'm like, I cook so you can at least fix your plate, but I work a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when I work, because I am a retired nurse, even when I work, I still fix my husband's plate. But these are the things I watched my mom do when I was growing up. My mom served us as kids, and she served my dad. So it's almost like second nature to me. My husband can cook, and I still fix our plate.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what worked for us.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Don't you think you learn to, like, my mother was really like that, but I will say when I got married, I was a little bit bitter because I had always woken up and the clothes were in the drawer and the house was clean and everything was done for me. And I didn't appreciate it. And so I think with my children, I still do things for them, but I also want them to be aware, because it was a shock to the system.
Right.
To look around and think, well, who the devil's going to do all this stuff?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my children are like, Mom, thank you for washing my clothes. Where
Yeah.
I didn't say thank you.
It was just expected.
And she didn't encourage me to think like these clothes actually got to this drawer through a pretty big process.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
I have had my adult children come back and say, Mom, first, thank you. And second, I'm so sorry. Because I've been through the ringer. And I know what it was like now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all. It's been about an hour, and I greatly appreciate y'all. And Andale, I'm glad you did not stress this morning.
I didn't, because of you and your response.
And thank you for letting me tune in.
Yeah.
Anytime. This was a great conversation.
I love it.
And like I said, even though we are homesteaders and gardeners, we still need to have these real life conversations that happen every day in life. People stress about things subconsciously, and it's not healthy. And if us having these conversations can help you learn how to de-stress, take a bath, or just go sit in the closet with silence for a few minutes or a few minutes to pray or whatever it takes for you to de-stress, do it. Take time for yourself sometime. You can step away from the family for a few minutes and get it done.
Love you too,
It's
Sue.
important.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate
appreciate
you
it.
so much.
And I hope you have a great day. Of course, I'll talk to you more today.
Yeah, we talk almost daily.
Well, and I want to come stay next time and get my plate.
Oh, okay. I can handle that. I have no
Yes,
problem
you
with
can.
that. So
Adrian's a
we'll
hoot.
cook
We
and
do
serve.
have to get her to come to a homestead convention sometime or homestead meetup. That would be hilarious.
It would
to
be
able
fun.
To see. It would be. There's lot. They have fun. We have fun.
Oh, I know you
Yes.
do. I'm glad to have homestead friends because if the world goes to pot, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So
Well,
get in line.
yeah. You have to get in line because it's a long line. I know my line stretched all the way to Virginia. So we definitely make sure we are ready. And I'm like I said in the beginning, I'm so glad that Andel is doing this Be Ready series because you
Yeah.
are helping people, and I
Yeah.
always say, even if it's just one person,
Right.
just one, your
That's
Aunt
right.
Dilly Dailies and your Be Readys are helping somebody. So keep them coming.
That's so sweet. Thank you, honey.
We
All right. Well,
appreciate
I
it.
love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Call me later.
See you
Bye,
later.
Adrian.
Bye. See you later.
Bye bye.
All right, fam. So you all know that if you all need a friend or somebody to talk to, it's always somebody out here that you can trust and talk to. Like I said, you just have to be careful who. Don't be stressed to the point where you think about doing things that you cannot undo. Life, things can always be worse. We are not sleeping under bridges or trying to pick through trash cans to figure out what we gonna eat. So we do stress, but it's not as bad as it could be most of the time. But definitely seek help. You know, seek help from professionals or a friend, a good friend, but make sure they are a good friend. We'll have more conversations. Um, Hudson, let me see. I have it, but I'm on. So, Soil Family Expo, we are taking payments for dinner on April 1st. Let me see if I can find it. At Lady and Sons. It is $40 per person if you plan to have dinner with us on April 1st. It's all you can eat. Okay. I think I'm gonna drop it in the chat. It's all you can eat, $40. That didn't work. And that will include your taxes, tips, and your meal for Soil Family Expo. Soil Family Expo is March 31st through April 2nd this year. Okay, let me see if I can get this toothpaste clipboard. Okay, there you go. There you go, Hudson. So as people pay for their meals, I am writing you down, and Andell has a wristband. When you get to Savannah, she'll give you the wristband on Saturday. I'm sending you a check for dinner. Okay, Sue. Just I'll email you. But we love to see you all here March 31st through April 2nd. Check out soilfamily.org website for more information. Feel free to email us for more information. We have an email through soilfamily.org or our Black's Tropical. So, no stressing. Life is great. Thank you, Ruth in Georgia Backyard Garden. Yes, we hit 1 million views, y'all. 1 million views. 15, 16 months into YouTube, we hit 1 million views. No stress. Pure D fun. It is doable. You have a whole team, a whole community behind you. So let's get it done. If you have not hit that thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up for us and share this out. It may help somebody. We will bring more of these conversations. I think they'll be great. I think our next conversation will be about mental health, menopause. Because not only do women go through menopause, but men go through it too. Because they deal with us. So 1 million views. Yes, what a blessing. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., we're going to wish this beautiful lady in heaven a happy 110 birthday. And I'm going to talk about the years I spent with her, the beautiful years I spent with her here on earth. What an amazing life. It was fun. We went out to eat. We went and got our nails done. We just rode around, look at the men, all the great things in life that you should be doing if you see 108 years of living. So I shall see y'all tomorrow at 3 p.m. Me and Bobby will tell our story. Oops, million views. Yeah, we getting there. We getting there. Every view is one view closer to, every subscriber is one subscriber closer to a million. So we are getting there too. We're going to get there together. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Don't let nobody steal your joy.